The David Polis Show. I'm your host, David Polis. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm your biggest Michael Jordan fan on this planet, here to bring some light and wisdom into this dark world. Last week we talked about Chapter 11, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Discussed a few topics like taking that sex stimulant and sex drive, especially in your early 20s, and transferring that into your passion and goals. My God, are you going to be a lot more successful in your 30s and 40s? And today we're going to talk about Chapter 1. It's, thoughts become things. There was a few stories in Chapter 1 which I thought were spectacular that I want to go over with you and give you my feedback. And the first story was about a guy named Edwin Barnes. You can look him up, go on Google. Edwin Barnes ended up being Thomas Edison's business partner. And his goal in life at a young age was to become Thomas Edison's business partner. He didn't know Thomas Edison, had no ties, no connections to him. He didn't come from money. He ended up jumping on a freight train, got a job with Thomas Edison, kept on moving up, and eventually became his business partner. So, in life, if you have something, if you have a thought, it will become a thing with a lot of perseverance and passion, and you just got to keep pushing through. And psychologists have correctly said when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts it in appearance. So, and I'm going to repeat that again. Psychologists have correctly said when one is truly ready for a thing, it puts it in appearance. So, great story. Edwin Barnes, look him up, ended up being Thomas Edison's business partner. Such a phenomenal story. Now, if you're 5'2" and you're trying to make it to the NBA, and I'm not saying it's not impossible or it's not possible, but sometimes reality is reality. So I thought that story was spectacular. Now, on the other side of things, the power of not giving up. There's a story that's 3 feet from gold that you can also look up. There was a guy named R.U. Darby and his uncle. Back in the days during the gold rush, people were going out west. They were drilling in the land to get gold. And a lot of people made a lot of money. But, long story short, R.U. Darby's uncle ended up selling the land. He essentially gave up on drilling because nothing was coming out anymore. He sold it to, let's say, a Joe Schmo. That Joe Schmo was smart enough where he ended up hiring an expert. And when that expert came and looked at the land, and he literally told that Joe Schmo, wow, these guys were 3 feet away from striking gold. So, in my life, I've had so many opportunities where I was so close of getting that title. I was so close of making X amount of dollars, but I ended up quitting. I gave up. Whether it was a roadblock, whether I got very emotional with a leader that was, above me. And, so one thing I will tell you, if you have something in your mind, a thought, and if you really, really want to go after that thing, you cannot give up, because sometimes, or most of the time, that is, that's the game changer, if you're going to give up or not. And perseverance is such a powerful word. And another story that I want to share with you is Henry Ford. Everyone knows who Henry Ford is. When he was working on the V8 engine, him and his team of engineers, I think it took a couple years, but numerous times his engineers went back to Henry Ford and said, hey, this is impossible. There's no way we can make this happen, da-da-da-da-da. And long story short, it ended up happening. They built the V8 model, and thought that was a spectacular story as well. So, one thing I want to do is, continue to push people to read. It's so powerful. It's helped me a ton in my 30s. I wish I would have started reading in my early 20s or even in my late teens. So, one message again I want to relay in this video is don't give up. If there's a job that you're chasing, if there's a position that you're chasing, you cannot give up. And, for me, reading Chapter 1 was super powerful. That story, 3 feet from gold, was spectacular. Song of the week this week is Kanye West and Pusha T, New God Flow. Love that jam. Beautiful jam. Bumping it all week. And one thing, I've been watching the show Chosen. Always been a huge fan of God and Jesus, and Jesus mentioned that in your life, don't be anxious, because it's not going to add hours to your days on earth. So, just want to close out this video if you can. Don't be anxious. Continue to chase your goals. Don't give up. Keep making it happen. Keep reading. We might do another chapter next week on Think and Grow Rich. There's just so many amazing chapters. I might want to cover all of them. But we will continue to discuss other books, other chapters. We're going to make it happen. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.